Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Buckeye Politics. It's me, your favorite Ohioan. So today, we're doing an interesting video, and oftentimes on channels like mine, you hear people talk about which states are trending one way or another. You have states like Georgia that are trending blue, and states like Wisconsin that are trending red. And most states in one way or another are trending toward one of the two parties, whether it be a safe states being more safe, or safe states being slightly closer. But so there's every state, no matter what, so pretty much just at this point is starting to shift toward one party or another due to mostly polarization and the parties taking sort of on new forms, if you will. Um, Before 2016, the Republicans were more or less the party of the suburbs and the party of the establishment. But now the Republicans have become a much more working class party because of Donald Trump, while the Democrats have become more the party of the suburbs and the establishment. So a lot of people talk about the party switches and flops in the 1960s, but I would argue that there's an even bigger party flop and party switch going on right now. So but today we're going to look at the states that at this moment are not trending. Which states are not really going one way or another? The first state we're going to take a look at is the state of Mississippi. So if obviously from 2016 to 2020, you can see the state of Mississippi trended Democratic by 1.3 points. But from 2004 to 2008, if we're going to go back real quick, um, it was one of the states that had the one, other than Indiana, Utah, some other states that obviously got Indiana, some other states that got very competitive because of Barack Obama. Mississippi was one of the few southern states actually to trend heavy blue, and this made a lot of people think that Mississippi would be competitive in the future. A lot of people thought Mississippi would actually be like the Georgia of 2020, a state with a high black population that would possibly be blue in the future. But that really didn't happen. Obviously, we saw Georgia go blue in 2020, but Mississippi kind of undid that huge trend, especially compared to the rest of the South, by from 2012 to 2016 actually trending 6.3 points more Republican. So Mississippi is a state that really isn't trending anywhere. In huge elections, it swings about 5 points and 5 to 6 points in one direction, but in closer elections, such as the 2016 to 2020, it only went Democratic by 1.3. From 2012 to 2016, obviously it went 6.3. We saw that earlier. 1.7 from 2008 to 2012. So it got even bluer from 2008 to 2012, which made a lot of people think that Mississippi would be competitive. No, it's trending. It's trending Republican, if anything. But really, I would argue that these trends we're seeing now are just undoing the trends we saw earlier. Obviously, since 2008, Mississippi has gotten more Republican. So, like I said, the recent trends are kind of undoing the older trends. So I think it's safe to say Mississippi won't really be going anywhere. It's going to stay about R15 or so unless something really crazy happens. So, and interesting enough, the next state we're going to look at is the state of Louisiana. Obviously, from 2008 to 2012, as you can see, the state of Louisiana has trended Democratic by 0.02%. It stayed virtually R plus 18 since 2008. And as a matter of fact, since 2008, as you saw, Louisiana trended only 0.02% blue. Considering Obama won by a nationwide landslide in 2008, I actually think it's interesting that Mississippi is trending blue. You think it would trend red. I mean, if you look at 2008, 2020 to 2020, other than states like Georgia, California, Arizona, Alaska, Texas is another interesting one. Pretty much virtually every state has trended red. And I think it's interesting to note that Louisiana is one of the few solid R states, other than probably Kansas, and Utah that is really trending blue. And however, I would really say that Louisiana isn't going to be competitive anytime soon, just because it is trending slightly blue. Because it's literally it's literally 0.02. I actually did the math, and it would take almost 900 years at this rate. If Louisiana continues to trend 0.02% every election, it will take around 900 years for the state to become competitive. So I'd say it's not going to be competitive anytime soon. It's going to be one of the states that slowly but surely trends one way or another. I mean, Democrat by 1, Republican by 1, Republican by 2, Democrat by 1. It's similar to Mississippi. Louisiana is really not trending anywhere. It's staying about R plus 15. So yeah, like I said, unless something crazy happens, I seriously doubt Louisiana will be going anywhere anytime soon. So the third and final state we're actually going to look at is the state of Illinois. This is a state that trended 0.07% more Republican in 2016 from 2016 to 2020. This is other than maybe Vermont and California. and Hawaii, one of the most safe Democratic states in the country, because of Cook County. It's located on the lake near Lake Michigan, up near the in the northeastern part of the state, home to Chicago. It's a huge population center that pretty much carries the rest of the state. So although I would agree, a lot of people are saying Illinois is moving right, and I do agree with that. I think the shifts, the slow Republican trend we saw from 2016 to 2020 is going to continue by much larger margins. But as of now, it's really staying the same. I mean, from 2012 to 2020, it shifted 0.12% Democratic. 2016 to 2020, as we saw, like 0.074. 2008 to 2020, it's definitely trended a lot more redder. But that's mostly because of Obama being from there, a blue wave year. So the state is definitely trending red, but not by huge margins. It's more or less, it's from 2016 to 2020, 2012, I should say, to 2020. It's really just been hovering on the edge of D plus 17, or D plus 18, D plus 19, around there, similar to margins in Louisiana. But I do think Illinois is going to slowly get more Republican, mostly because of, I mean, if you look at 2020, it really was more or less of a blue wave year across the country. And even with all the crazy mail-in voting and all the crazy stuff that happened in Illinois and other blue states like it, it's still got slightly more Republican. So I could easily see Republicans turning out, and if Republicans can get their messaging together, I could easily see Illinois continuing to trend Republican. It's going to be competitive, not anytime soon, maybe in like 20, 30, 40 years, but 2024 it's going to be safe blue. But if you use a 15 margins, it could be under 15 points, which would make for a very interesting map and very interesting national environment. So, like I said, I think it's going to stay it's going to stay it's staying solidly D plus 17. Obviously, 2022, I think the governorship might be a lot closer. But on the presidential level, I think if we're lucky, we'll get it likely. But if not, it'll probably be around D plus 16, because it has been a D plus 17 state since like 2012. So Cook County, the county I mentioned earlier, is the largest and most Democratic county. It's decreasing in population. Excuse me. So I could easily see, because of that decrease in population and the rurals getting redder, I could that's the main reason I see Illinois getting more Republican, and that explains why it got more Republican, even though they had all the crazy mail-in voting and stuff. The only thing that could possibly undo these trends is if the suburbs continue to get more bluer, but I kind of doubt that'll happen. Um, Mostly because, like I said, it really just depends on how the campaign is. If we can run a Youngkin type kitchen table issues campaign, we should be able to undo those trends in the suburbs. And we're really seeing the trends in the suburbs being undone right now, by Joe Biden. Really, Joe Biden's carrying us right now. He's pretty much there's the Republican campaign guy. We just got to put him up there, and then yeah, we'll win hopefully, because he's messing everything up. So like I said, Illinois is a state that's really not trending anywhere. It's pretty much going to shift about a 0.1 point to the left or right. That's definitely going to change, but as of now, it's really not shifting all that much. As you can see, from 2012 to now, it's only shifted barely more Democratic. From 2016, it shifted barely more Republican. So although I could definitely see it getting closer, as of now, Illinois is pretty much staying exactly where it is. So with that, thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe.